Okay, so today we're going over module 12. It's called Similarity Proportions. And we said students will use similar triangles and similarity proportions to solve for a missing side length. So what we're going to do first is we're going to complete the following proportions. So what we're looking for here is this. Okay. So we have this proportion AE over EB. And we're going to see which other proportion on the same triangle is congruent to this. So if you see AE is this part right here. And then if you look at EB, that's the bottom part of it. So the bottom part over here. So if you think of this part, think of this as the top, and this is the lower section. So think of this as top over the lower. And if you look on the other side, AF is the top, F to C is the lower. So when you set up our proportion over here, we're going to say AF over FC. This is the top and the lower. Okay. Now look at over here. AE are here. So this is the top part. If you look at AB, A to B, this is the whole part, the whole segment. So we say top over the whole. So if we set up a proportion over here, the top part is AF. And you see the whole part goes from A to C. So AF over AC. So right here, AC is the whole. FC is the lower. So you want the whole and the lower on the other part of the triangle. So the whole part would be AB. Lower segment is EB. This one as well. So here AX, A to X here. This is the top part. Let's just set up all our parts here. AX to B is the lower. And then A to B is the whole part. And set up the other side as well. So A to Y is the top. Y to C is the lower. And A to C is the whole. So here, AX, this is the top. XB is lower. So you want top and lower on the other side. So it's going to be AY and then YC. Okay, and this part, AY is the top part. AC is the whole part. So that's on this side. So on the left side, top part of the left side is AX over whole, which is AB. So here AB is the whole part. XB is the lower. So on the other side, whole part of the right side is AC. The lower is just YC. Now example 3 right here. So again, you're going to complete this. So the way we set this one up is still, it's sideways, but LP here, that's the top part. P to M is the lower part. Same thing with K to N is the top, and M is the lower. So that means L to M is the whole, K to M is the whole part. So we just match up the sides. So LP here is top, PM is lower. So top on the other side is KN over NM. Okay, on this one, KM is the whole, NM is lower. So whole over lower. The other side whole is LM, lower is PM. Okay, the last one, LM is the whole, LP is the top. So it means whole over top. So whole will be KM over top, which is KN. Example 4, we're going to solve for the value of x. So what we're going to do here is, again, remember these two, this means parallel. And when they're parallel, think of like this. So we're going to take these two, 6 over x equals, set up these two proportional sides, 8 over 5. And then we just cross multiply from here. So we cross multiply. So I take these two. X times 8 gives me 8x equals, multiply these two. 6 times 5 gives me 30. I divide by 8. These go away. So I get x equals 30 over 8. But I could reduce this by 2, which gives me 15 over 4. That's my final answer. Okay, let's even solve for the value of x as well. So again, these mean that they're parallel. So what I do here is I take these two, x over 2. But on this one, the whole part's 8. So it means that this part right here would be a 3. That way, because it's 5 plus 3 equals 8. So that means I take these two and set them at proportion here, 5 over 3. And I just cross multiply again. So I take these two. X times 3 gives me 3x. And I take these two. 2 times 5 gives me 10. And I just divide by 3. So that means x equals 10 over 3. Okay, so in example 6, they're asking us, is DE and CB parallel? So what we do here is we're looking for, so what we check for here is I take these two segments, these two sides, and say 8 over 6 equals, and I take these two, 24 over 8, and I'm going to see if they're equal. So this one, 18 divided by 6 gives me 3. 24 divided by 8 gives me 3. So because these are, they're the same value, I'm going to say DE is parallel to CB. Okay, example 7. Again, asking us, is TH and SV parallel? So I'm going to take these two, 5 over 4. And I take these two segments, proportional segments, 7 over 6. And I want to see are they equal. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to divide. So 5 divided by 4. So this gives me 1.25. And I'll take 7 divided by 6. This gives me 1.16. So these are not the same value. So I say these are not equal to each other. So I'm going to say here TH is not parallel to SV. Okay, so now next part, the mid segment of a triangle. So the mid segment is that segment in the middle. So we call that the mid segment. And then that means these two are midpoints. Another thing that happens here is if you go from here to this segment, you multiply by 2. And if I go the opposite direction, if I go from here, I divide by 2. So I'm going to say here that UV is equal to half of ST. I'll also say ST is equal to 2 times UV. Okay, so this is how we use the mid-segment. So it says if DE is a mid-segment, what is the length of CB? So we're saying that this is the mid-segment. So what I could do here, I could say that this side are congruent. Same thing with these two. And since I'm going from here this way, I'm just going to multiply by 2. So 12 times 2 gives me 24 feet. So here I say CB is equal to 24 feet. Okay, example 9. Using the midsegment of a triangle, so it says WT is the midsegment. That means that this side, that's congruent. Same thing with these two. So it says, what is also the value of y? So I'm going from the outside segment in. So I'm going to divide this by 2. So I'm going to say here y equals 36 divided by 2, or y equals 18. Okay, and our last segment says if Mn is the mid-segment. Again, that's the mid-segment. So what are the missing side lengths? Okay, so I know that these two are congruent. So this is 14. This is also 14. Also know that these two are congruent. So this is 12. This is also going to be 12. And then the last segment, the mid segment. So since I'm going from the 20, and that's the mid segment, I'm going to divide this by 2. So it's going to give me 10. So here I'm going to say MD is equal to 14. Fn is equal to 12. And Mn is equal to 10. Okay, so we're done with today's notes.